Ma, during our walk at March 3rd, 2020. Ma, in her early 20s with me when I still had hair. Today is my mother's birthday, and if not for COVID, we would be gathered around her, loving on her and celebrating her magnificence. And I'm really so sad that that is not possible. So I wanted to devote today's talk to my mother. Last meal in LA before Ma and Pops head home, In-N-Out, March 5th, 2020. Security distanced goodbye at LAX, March 5th. Moonrise over Queens and Long Island, March 9th. A Corona gets its lime, Brooklyn street hustle, March 10th. Feel, know, act, vision, goal, task, March 11th. Bathroom at WeWork on Montague, fire, March 11th, 2020. My friend Twan Andrew Wynn's show on the Lower East Side, A Lotus in a Sea of Fire, March 12th, 2020. Same show, different piece, March 12th. Crystallized condensation on window at sunset on flight from New York to LA, March 12th. Supporting my favorite mulita truck in mi barrio, their business already down 40%, March 17th, 2020. Meme, our collectively compromised commune and care system, March 18th. Video entrails on my block, March 19th. The Crying Game, Dangerous Liaisons, Flatliners, Spring Flowers in Elysian Park, March 21st. Selfie, taken as I wait in line to be tested, also in Elysian Park, March 24th. Free COVID-19 public testing site in Elysian Park, March 24th. Mask I was tested in, March 24th. March 28th social media post. Yesterday I received a call telling me that I tested positive for the COVID-19 virus. I am sharing to help counter the stigma of this virus, to ground it and to make it real. To remember that care can look and feel like so many different things, and that right now we must summon them all in our fragile, magnificent world. I feel great rage, if no surprise, that the federal government responses have been deadly slow and inadequate, that our healthcare providers and caregivers and grocery store workers are so under-supported and imperiled, that testing and the most basic epi responses are only now beginning to ramp up slowly, that profits have been prioritized over people and the planet, that health necessities and food are considered commodities, that our people on the inside are at great risk, that our people without shelter are so vulnerable, that national leadership still doesn't understand that healthcare is a human right. It cannot be tied to employment or the market, that childcare and elder care are not valued, resourced, and prioritized, that so many people are now without work and food or will soon be. These gaps in funding and resources are by design. Some of us have been surviving them for centuries. It does not have to be this way. So I'm also moved by all the amazing community organizing afoot, our interpersonal, local, regional, national, and transnational systems of mutual care. We have to keep cultivating and expanding these care networks in all the ways that we can. I'm grateful for folks who are doing the work on the daily and stepping into and channeling their power right now. I am diseased and well, fragile and strong, laughing and quiet, vulnerable and resilient, radiant and unsure, loving and loved. May you be loved and loving too. April 3rd social media post. I no longer understand time. My temporal intuition and rhythm are shot. A COVID-19 day feels like a dog year. So much happens, alters, inspires, unnerves, exhausts, helps, evolves, devolves, accelerates, competes, intensifies, heals, unravels, overwhelms, exhales. Today is wiping me the fuck out. Triaged for a beloved who's too weak to talk and reached out via text for help, contacting their doctor for guidance. Later, I was cooking some brunch in the kitchen. listening to some house music for comfort and fuel. In the middle of nudging some protein in the walk, I did the simplest and briefest of shimmy steps. It felt fleetingly great to syncopate my torso, culo, and limbs. And then it left me completely exhausted. Not even a whole chorus worth of movement. Eventually went back to bed, trying to nap. No deal. This is not uncommon, even at night. Solid sleep has unfriended me, no matter how much NyQuil and melatonin I offer in seduction and supplication. I'm mostly physically okay, one of the fortunate in these days of ragged and violent COVID asymmetries. But I don't have the juice for giving daily updates or responding to all of your immense and fortifying individual doses of love. My extended family's been unnecessarily but totally understandably concerned. It's so hard for them to be on the outside without steady drips of incremental updates about slight progress or downturns. They feel only stuck, full of their anxiety and love, with nowhere to easily put them. In this time of COVID-19, our collective forms of communing and caring continue to expand and evolve, drawing on deep traditions and the best of science. I will be well as I continue to curiously learn what it is to be in this moment and body. Lots of tears today, some smiles, these somatic sighs, reckonings, and releases. So necessary, hard, good. I want to see and kiss your unzoomed smiles. Un día. April 5th, journal entry, Domingo, Sunday, 1:34 a.m. Here in the reading chair, I can't breathe deeply enough while lying down. So I came out here to try to rest. I'd already taken 12 milligrams of melatonin and a sip of NyQuil, and I want to sleep. This after a 10-minute tenting with eucalyptus oil and a hot shower. I can't tell what's anxiety, what's the extra 2.5 pounds I've gained over the last 2 days, which has pushed me right into that zone where the weight itself can make it hard to breathe, or what is the loss of cardiopulmonary capacity and stamina due to being unable to exercise, and what's due to fatigue itself. C19 is so strange. Tuesday to Thursday, I actually felt pretty good symptoms-wise, but sore throat returned on Friday after my paused test result, and it's been up and down since. I'd been fortunate in that I hadn't had trouble breathing. That changed today. My lungs are not working well. It's causing me anxiety. Selfie while waiting for chest ray at urgent care, April 5th, 2020. April 6th, social media post. Operation Inhaler. Needed to fill prescription for first time in over a decade. Fortunate to be able to do so. Drive up pharmacy folks working extra hard, but at the window it smelled like live cigarettes. Probably the fresh stub of a previous customer who'd waited out their own anxiety with some necessary nicotine self-medicating. But I'm super sensitive to smoke, and even the residue caused my flare-up to worsen. So while I waited for my prescription to fill, I got out of the car and stayed distanced in space. It was nice to be outside for first time in days. Lots to see while doing my 10-minute stand and photograph in place. April 6th, social media post. Anoche, before bed, I cut all screens and entered the land of the analog and ancestral. Spent some time once again with pre-contact golden helmets and the power of oar, hand, animals, spirit, shine. Best sleep in a week. Might have just been the new regimen of albuterol and generic Benadryl, but awoke this morning in a cushion of happy calm. Rest is the best. Came to from a dream of being on a journey in Panama. The Chiva, the old painted US school bus kind, had broken down on a coastal road. While we waited, I wandered down a path to an overlook along the edge of tourist cottages full of folks watching TVs. I watched Niñas Panameñas playing in a stream as it approached the sea. It was twilight with scattered clouds still visible across the lavender sky. I turned to a fellow passenger, un viejo, and said, "How beautiful." gesturing to 3 moons hovering in an inverted triangle above the horizon. Then I heard the chiva rumbling back to life, and I worried about it leaving without us. By the time the viejo and I could rush back to the road and shout for it not to go, the chiva was already chugging along and heading into a curve. We watched as it tipped and fell over, almost smashing an oncoming car before smacking and bouncing off the pavement, stumbling back up to its feet, and on its way to the city without us. April 13th social media post and my last. Recovery is slow. I'm very fortunate to be able to surrender to this pace and not rush. Small steps forward, followed by pauses, and sometimes stumbles backward. Poco a poco. Breathing improving despite occasional bouts. Exhaustion has ebbed into mere fatigue. Sometimes a creeper wipeout wave still comes. Lots of medicine and nourishment flowing in many forms. Oximeter from Dad. Aunt Ginny sent me a cloth mask for an outdoor future. They're lined and plaid fabric from Grandpa's shirts. He passed last June. He'll be close to my breath once I'm able to walk outside again. Mental fog lifts more often now. Haven't had an active phone conversation in almost 10 days to conserve energy. Looking forward to that soon.